Am I the asshole for making a joke about my brother's affair at his wedding? When I was in elementary school, I was the type of kid who got, quote unquote, disrupts class often on their report card, so I never focused much on school. My district had this system where they would pair high schoolers with younger kids to help them with school, etc. And my mom made me do that after I kept getting in trouble. So, my tutor was a freshman. We'll call her Abby. So she would come to our house after school to help me with my homework or something. I barely remember. My brother, we'll call John, was the same age as Abby, so they would talk to each other and they ended up dating. She stopped tutoring me officially after like a month, but since she was at our house a lot, I also talked to Abby a lot, and we were close as well. Fast forward 10 years, Abby and John got married and had a kid together. 5 years later, John tells me that he's getting a divorce because he's met someone new. It sucked because I liked John and Abby together a lot, but whatever. Then he tells me he had an affair with his new girlfriend. Also sucks, and I told him he shouldn't have hurt Abby like that, but whatever. I also asked Abby how she was doing, and she wasn't doing well, but she told me she didn't want her to be the reason I have a bad relationship with my brother. However, 2 months ago before the wedding, Abby calls me and tells me that my brother's girlfriend has been harassing her nonstop. She showed me the texts, and his girlfriend was saying some pretty disturbing things about how she's so much better than Abby, taunting Abby for having to share custody of her kid now, etc., just making fun of her and bullying her. I told my brother about this, and he said he would, quote unquote, ask his girlfriend about it. A month later, I asked him if he ever brought it up, and he said he did but saw nothing wrong with the texts, which pissed me off. I confirmed that he saw the same text that I saw. Abby apologized for involving me in the whole thing in the first place and encouraged me to still go to their wedding, where my brother asked me to make a speech. The speech went well until I made a joke. The gist of the joke was me turning to his new wife and telling her that if she's learned anything from this, she should know that my brother, quote unquote, will never let his wife stop him from finding the love of his life. This got my brother and his wife really mad, and they kicked me out shortly after, and my brother has been calling and texting me nonstop, just yelling at me. Was I the asshole here? And the top comment coming in with 60,000 upvotes. You know how vigilantes are technically in the wrong, but we all cheer them on anyway? You're the asshole, but high five. Next comment, 19,000 upvotes. I read the title and thought, really? You're not sure? And then laughed at the joke. So maybe we're all assholes? Next comment, 7,000 upvotes. I think there's a line between the asshole and the shit disturber. They're closely related, but I think they're both their own distinct subspecies. My personal theory is after a normal individual's many interactions with an a-hole, there is some sort of DNA mutation which changes the regular individual into a shit disturber. Next comment, 2,000 upvotes. As a caca disturber, I approve this theory. Next comment, 30,000 upvotes. Clearly, you were an a-hole, but I'm not mad at it. Everyone sucks here. Also, if you want to help Anna, tell her to show those texts to her lawyer. Pretty sure the judge in a custody court would not find them amusing. Next comment, 8,000 upvotes. I definitely think OP should help Allie out like that. It would serve the now sister-in-law and dumbass brother right if the kid were not to live with horrible people. Next comment, 20,000 upvotes. I've heard a million ways to reference an affair to the new partner, and honestly, quote unquote, my brother will never let his wife stop him from finding the love of his life is the best, most smooth one I have ever heard. Next comment, 5,000 upvotes. My jaw hit the floor when I read that. Then my foot came up and kicked me in the butt for not thinking of such a great line. Bachelor party, good line. Hanging out with the guys, good line. Wedding reception, bad line. But I applaud the cojones it takes to say that at the absolute worst time. Know your audience. And my vote, yeah, I totally respect this guy for saying this. I don't know if I would have been able to say it. Let me know what you guys think. Is this person the a-hole? Am I the asshole for uninviting my cousin, brother, uncle, and dad to my wedding over a prank? I, 22 female, grew up in a family where men prank and tease each other. Ever since my fiance, Tim, 23, and I got engaged, my cousin, brother, dad, and uncle joked about running some quote-unquote tests to see what type of man Tim is. They've done stuff like forcing him to play chess 4 times in a row, secretly slashed his tires to see if he'd fix them himself like a man or get help like those quote-unquote lazy guys. They'd ask him questions like what a joke he'd like to tell his future mother-in-law, his opinions on abortion, Jesus, gender equality, etc. They also tested his fishing and hunting skills, overwhelmed him with hypothetical scenarios to test his decision-making abilities and mental strength. They kept calling him slow and soft, but he has a medical condition, asthma. But they think he's making excuses. I demanded they stop, but Dad said this is just typical stuff men challenge each other with and said that I was ruining the fun. Last week, they took Tim on a 3-day trip and hid his inhaler. He left them and returned in 7 hours and told me I was seething after he said they admitted to hiding it as a quote-unquote challenge. I exploded on them when they returned. Cousin asked me if little Timmy ran to me to tattle. I yelled that all 4 of them are uninvited to my wedding. My brother freaked out, saying it was a prank and they were going to give it back. Dad said they'll apologize if I insist, but Tim will have lost the little respect they had gained for him, and in their eyes will always be the soft college kid who's not up for the challenge. I called him and the others awful. Then I left. My cousin is begging that we talk. My uncle has been quiet, but Dad is so mad, and now he's getting Mom involved to get me to reconsider this decision. But I keep refusing to re-invite them. Mom is saying that I'm exaggerating and should let bygones be bygones and not let this ruin my relationship with my family. So am I the asshole for making it my hill to die on, or am I exaggerating? Am I the asshole for uninviting my cousin, brother, uncle, and dad to my wedding over a prank?